Hi, my name's Neil Munday and I'm your host for the Sterling Business Podcast. The podcast is brought to you from Studio King Street here in the heart of Stirling. You can book our wonderful studio by going onto our website and making a booking that way, or sending an email to inquiries@studiokingstreet.com. Or you can simply pick up the phone and give Laura a call to make your booking. So, over to this week's episode of the Sterling Business Podcast. Today we've got Craig Mitchell. Welcome to Studio King Street. Craig, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Excellent.
So, thanks for agreeing to come on to the Sterling Business Podcast.
Great, thanks for having me.
It's going to be an interesting conversation today when we get into the topic of where you're looking to kind of take your podcast, which is something I know you're looking to start.
Yes.
Be lots of parallels drawn, I'm sure, as we get into that. But you've recently founded Pop Homes,
Yep.
okay, after a long career in the construction sector. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But before we kind of do that, why don't you just tell tell the audience a little bit about who you are and where you come from,
Yep.
and then we'll get specifically into the career and what's brought you to the current day.
Yeah. So I'm from Falkirk. I've been based essentially most of my life, apart from a little bit when I was very young. Spent a wee bit of time in the Middle East and down south when I was at university. But other than that, I've been based around sort of Larbert, Stennismuir, New Carron area. I've recently launched Pop Homes, as you say, so I'm the founder and director there. I've worked in construction for a lot of years, spent more than 10 years at a national house builder, and that's what sort of led me into down the route of the business with the estate agency. Away from the business, I'm a husband, I'm a dad of two, I'm a homeowner as well, so I've been through the process of purchasing a home, I've been through the transaction from both sides. So I've got experience of how challenging it can be, how frustrating it can be, and how overwhelming it can be, which is what led me to creating my customer journey when I founded the business.
Okay. So your career within construction,
Yep.
What did you specifically do and who did you do it with?
So I joined Persimmon Homes in 2012 following the completion of my degree. I studied property development at university. And when I returned back to Scotland, I joined Persimmon West as a trainee sales advisor. So I spent 13 years with the business, and I worked my way up through the business, held various roles, and eventually took up the position of sales director for the North Scotland region. So it was fantastic grounding that I got within the industry coming through the business, because I've been involved in that customer journey at all levels. I dealt with the clients that were purchasing their new homes face-to-face, day-to-day, while I was based on site, right through to leading the team and running the business, essentially as an executive director.
So you had to live life through COVID when you were doing that, I'm assuming?
I did, yes.
Which I can assume was pretty interesting in the construction sector at the time.
Yes, it was. It wasn't without its challenges, as it was everywhere. You know, it was difficult for a period where everything shut down and people were waiting mid-transaction, waiting to get keys to their properties and things like that. Presented a challenge. But reflecting on it now, it wasn't as challenging as some people faced during that time. So we made it work. And then obviously we had a real boom that came off the back of COVID, which brought a different challenge.
But construction continued for the larger developers, right? Larger builders at the time.
Yes, yeah. It stopped for maybe a very brief period, and then everything kicked off again once we had everything in place that we could operate safely.
Right. Okay. So kind of rolling forward, you decided to give up that career and do something different. So it looks like you've kind of set up a business.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more about Pop Homes and where you're based and what your demographic is.
Yeah. So Pop Homes are a local, independent, modern estate agency. It's based in Falkirk, covers the entire town and the surrounding areas. And it came basically from my experience through Persimmon, and that gave me the confidence to go out on my own and take it from the front line at Persimmon, if you like, through the leadership, through senior leadership, and now making the step into entrepreneurship. So the demographics we're after with Pop Homes is anyone, really. That's who we're happy to deal with. First-time buyers, first-time sellers, nervous buyers, executory cases, people who are buying new build or are considering new build may not be buying an established home. If they want to lean on my new build experience, then they're more than welcome to do that. Part of my mantra for the business is you don't have to be buying or selling through Pop Homes in order to benefit from the business and benefit from dealing with me direct.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so is there much difference in buying a new home versus buying an existing home?
In terms of from the purchaser perspective, I would say the journey on the new build is a bit more structured. It's a regulated industry now. It wasn't always, but it is now with the sort of the New Homes Ombudsman, the New Homes Quality Code coming in, etc. So you'll find that there's a bit of a more structured customer journey there. Whereas in established home sales, maybe not quite so much. And they tend to go at a different pace as well because established homes are built, they're built complete, so you don't have the construction phase of the journey to go through. So differs there, but in terms of the legal side, etc., most of that is predominantly the same.
Yeah, okay. So you've started this new business. Do you do lettings as well, or is it just
sales? Possibly move into lettings in the future, but wanted to get into the sales market initially and build the business and then grow from there.
Right. Okay. So you talked a little bit about entrepreneurship earlier on, or you touched on that, but you're also kind of planning on starting your own podcast. Okay. So what will the content of that podcast be? I think there's some entrepreneurship somewhere in there.
Yes.
But what are you planning to kind of launch, and what type of guests are you looking to bring in?
So initially, I'm looking at business owners, local business owners within the Falkirk area. I want to showcase basically what they're doing, because there's a lot of people within Falkirk, a lot of good people doing a lot of good things through their own business. And I found it myself, one of the most challenging things, especially early on, is the marketing side and that brand awareness and getting your name out there. So I want to use my platform to help others to do that within the local area.
Okay, so using your podcast as a platform to bring business owners in to talk to.
Yes.
As an opportunity for them to talk about their business and what they're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
That sounds pretty familiar, that.
Yeah, it does, yes. And listen, it may grow beyond that as well. I want it to be part of Pop Homes' mantra is to be community focused. So I'm starting out with business owners because there's a lot of good businesses, as I say, that want to talk about things, want to tell their story. It may move on from that to look at local community groups, looking at local charities and things like that, or individual figures of interest.
Okay. And do you have a name yet for your podcast?
I don't yet, no. It's very early days for it.
Yeah. Do you think you'll have the word pop in there somewhere?
Potentially. There is quite a popular podcast already in circulation, though, so I need to be careful there with a bit of competition.
Okay. So types of guests that you're looking to kind of bring in, do you have anybody lined up, or in terms of industries? You don't need to be specific on who they are, but
in terms of industry, it's varied. I think that's the big thing. Particularly early on, I want to have a bit of variety in there. Fortunately, there is a lot of variety within the local business community in Falkirk, so there's a lot of people I can bring in. I've just done a bit of promotional social media just to test the water and see who would be interested, and positively there's been a fantastic reaction to it. So I think I should be able to get a lot of varied content out there, because I need to be conscious of what the audience wants to hear about as well. They don't want repetition and the same people coming on saying the same things.
Yeah.
And that.
And I'm assuming you're going for all sorts of sizes of business as well in terms of kind of guests. Yeah?
Yes, anything and everything. Again, a bit of a mixture there. If I can get some well-known names or well-known brands, that's fantastic. If I can get smaller startups that are just looking to get the word out there and help with a bit of brand awareness, brilliant. That's what it's there to do. Okay.
And how savvy are you with regards to the technology behind podcasting? Do you know much about how it works and how to make yourself viral?
Yeah, I know the basics of it. In terms of the technical aspect of the podcast itself, I probably need some engineering assistance there. But in terms of the marketing of it, it's just like marketing with anything else and getting the name out there. So hopefully by doing that through my own channels and through those of the businesses and the people that I'm interviewing, then hopefully that'll help it spread pretty quickly.
Great. Okay. So what about frequency? How often are you looking to put episodes out once you get going?
I'm not set on that as yet. I'm thinking potentially looking at maybe fortnightly early on. Depends how much interest there is in those that are coming on. But what I want to do is I don't want to end up in a churn where I've got content coming out constantly. Part of the main criteria of the podcast is to provide a platform for people. So I need to give them the time to do that. So when I put something out there, I need it to have the time to spread to the audience and for them to get their message across. Otherwise, it'll quickly be lost if I just keep them coming.
Yeah, and are you looking to potentially give them a platform for advertising as well, post podcasts, or?
Yeah, potentially. It's not something I've explored yet, but it's something I can speak to the guests about as and when they're in.
Very good, very good. So networking is obviously going to play a big role in what you're doing moving forward. So how are you typically kind of going about networking and getting into the right groups to give you effectively a customer base to bring onto your podcast?
Yeah, networking. There's various networking groups that I'm involved in now throughout Falkirk, throughout the Forth Valley. To be honest, the Chamber of Commerce and the likes have been fantastic because, again, there's a lot of like-minded individuals in there, and there's a lot of small business owners that are keen to get their message out. Social media has been fantastic. There's a lot of local Facebook groups and things like that I can promote the podcast in, and then people see it on there and they share it and they're tagging friends in it. Are you a
TikToker?
Not quite yet, no. I will be.
You need to get there.
I do. I think it'd be a bit early for that yet. With platforms like TikTok, you really need a bank of content before you can start putting things out there. So that will come, and it's very much in the planning, but it's not quite there yet.
Right, got to get down with the kids. So, relatively new business. You've got a couple of listings already, which is fantastic. So, good luck with that. Hopefully, that will go from strength to strength for you. So, where do you want to be in 12 months from now? So, you're a relatively new business owner. Starting a podcast, sounds like coming from a sales and marketing background, you've definitely got the right credentials to to promote yourself and put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So where do you want to be in 12 months from now? What would you like success?
Yeah, I think
to look like
success for me in 12 months looks like having an established business and an established brand that people in the local area are familiar with. I think the sign of success for me will be organic lead generation. So at the minute, I'm doing a lot of the marketing myself and I'm getting the business out there, and it's great because I'm getting returns from that, and I'll continue to do that. But it's from the estate agency side, it's having people who aren't within my own network coming to the business organically because they've seen it somewhere or they've heard good things about it, and they're putting through their own inquiries through the website, whether that's for evaluation, etc. Podcast, similarly. I would like for, whether it's local business owners or other people within the local community who just feel that they've got a good story to tell, to come to me and say to me, Craig, I have this story to tell and I would love you to help me tell it.
Great. Okay. So that's pretty clear. From a reach point of view, are you going to keep it to Falkirk, or do you think you're going to go slightly beyond that, Forth Valley or beyond?
Yeah. For now, I think I'll stick to the local area because, like I say, there's a lot there to talk about. There's a lot of good things to say. So could I expand in time? Absolutely. And the way that I've set up both the estate agency business and the podcast is that it's scalable. So I can grow it over time, and I've got a plan in place to do that, but I want to do it at the right pace because that's the big thing for me. I don't want to push it too hard, too fast and reach breaking point because then it'll be my customers or the guests I've had on the podcast that'll suffer, and that goes against the culture of the business.
Fantastic. So, well, good luck with it all. Come back and tell us what you're going to call it.
I will,
and we'll give you a bit of a plug once you've got a name, and hopefully we'll see you here recording your content with all those wonderful guests that you're going to be bringing in from Falkirk. So I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, welcome, Craig. Thank you. So that brings us to another end of an episode of the Sterling Business Podcast. Thank you again to our guest this week. Remember to follow us on the YouTube channel, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, stay safe.